Imagine opening your phone and seeing the news. Another round of stimulus checks might be coming in 2025. It feels like free money. But is it really? But hold up. Before you start dreaming of catching up on rent or finally fixing that old car, let's be real. For some people, that check won't even last a week. And for others, it won't even arrive at all. Just like in 2020, when millions waited and waited while bills and late fees didn't wait for anyone. Here's the kicker. Back then, a huge chunk of those stimulus checks ended up going straight into crypto. Yep. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin. Some people turned government aid into lottery tickets on Coinbase. So what does that mean for 2025? Relief for the people, or just fuel for another hype cycle? Let's break this down. Chapter 1. The Hope Check. On paper, the new stimulus sounds like salvation. A few $100s sent straight to low and middle-income families. Trump's advisors know this plays well politically. Who doesn't like a president who gives out money? But if we learned anything from the last time, it's that the government doesn't hand you freedom. They hand you conditions, fine print, timelines, and excuses for delays. Remember the IRS backlog in 2020? Millions of checks delayed because of tiny errors in tax filings. Some families literally waited a year. So when people hear Stimulus 2025, the question isn't just how much. It's will I even get it? Or am I about to star in another bureaucratic nightmare? Chapter 2. History repeats itself. Let's talk facts. And guess what? According to surveys, more than 15% of those checks went directly into crypto. Bitcoin spiked, altcoins rallied, and suddenly Wall Street called it the stimulus rally. But here's the dark side. Families who should have spent that money on groceries gambled it away. Some won, many lost, and the safety net turned into another casino chip. This is the contradiction of America. Relief money meant for survival ends up fueling speculation, because people don't trust the system to save them. So when Trump whispers about a new round in 2025, crypto Twitter goes wild. Memes, rocket emojis, and stimmy to the moon hashtags. Meanwhile, real families are just asking, will this help me keep the lights on? Chapter 3. The Fine Print Drama. Meet Sarah, a single mom from Ohio. Back in 2020, her stimulus got withheld because of a clerical error in her old tax return. She spent months on hold with the IRS while eviction notices piled on her door. Now imagine that happening again in 2025. Except this time, the rules are even more complicated. Income thresholds, dependent status, even what bank account you used last year can screw you over. The government says it's to prevent fraud. But to regular people, it feels like punishment for being poor. Here's the absurd part. Billion-dollar companies find loopholes every single day. But a working mom misses one form and she loses her lifeline. That's not fairness. That's bureaucracy with a baseball bat. And yet, people still cling to hope. Because when you're drowning, even a leaky life raft looks like salvation. Chapter 4. The Domino Effect. It always starts small. Your bank says the deposit is pending. The IRS tracker says processing. Suddenly, weeks stretch into months. And that's when survival mode kicks in. Families sell old cars, max out credit cards, skip medical care, all because they were told help is on the way. By the time the check finally arrives, the damage is already done. Late fees stacked, credit scores tanked, stress through the roof. The stimulus isn't a cushion anymore. It's a refund for trauma already suffered. This is the American loop. Promise, delay, desperation, then repeat. And it's why people are starting to ask, maybe these checks aren't about saving us. Maybe they're about controlling us. Chapter 5. Crypto Fever. Now here's where it gets wild. In 2020, Coinbase literally reported a spike in deposits for the exact same amount as the stimulus checks. People turned $200 into $200 worth of Bitcoin overnight. Fast forward to 2025. If the White House really pulls the trigger, Crypto markets could explode again. But think about it. Relief money meant for food and rent being funneled into volatile tokens. That's not relief. That's playing roulette with your safety net. And yet, you can't blame people. They've seen savings evaporate with inflation. They've seen wages stagnate. So when a stimulus check lands, betting on Bitcoin feels safer than trusting the system. This is the paradox. A government handout sparking a private rebellion in the markets. Chapter 6. Protecting yourself. Here's the part no one tells you. You actually have rights in this mess. File your taxes clean and early. Double-check your direct deposit info. If you moved, update your address with both USPS and IRS. Small details save you big headaches. And if your check goes missing, you can file a payment trace. The government hates it when you know that trick, but it works. If you decide to invest, fine. But don't bet the rent money. Set aside what you need to survive before chasing gains. And always, always keep documentation. Paper trails are your only weapon when the system tries to gaslight you. Chapter 7. Relief or illusion. At the end of the day, a stimulus check feels like hope. But hope with strings attached. Trump's promise might win votes. It might pump crypto charts. But for everyday Americans, it's not freedom. It's survival money dressed up as generosity. Ask yourself, shouldn't justice and relief be consistent rights, not lottery prizes handed out every few years? Because if the only way people feel financial breathing room is when Washington decides to cut a check, then maybe the system isn't broken. Maybe it's working exactly as designed, and that's the real nightmare. Stimulus checks keep us dependent, distracted, divided between survival and speculation. So here's my question to you. If that 2025 check lands in your account, are you spending it on survival? Or are you taking it to the moon with crypto? Drop your answer in the comments. Because the real power isn't in Washington or Wall Street. It's in how we choose to use what little they give us.